Recording with the one and only Miss Claire Lopez on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 5:13 p.m. Eastern Time. Guys, if you want to support the show, you're watching on Rumble, click the little red button. That's locals. Go get exclusive Tommy content. Promo code Tommy for a couple bucks a month. You can support the show. Or if you want, in the description is the link to the merch, the hoodies. Those are all my own graphic designs. But seeing as how we are officially in a banana republic, Miss Lopez, how are you doing?
Hey there. Good to be with you, Tommy.
Yes, ma'am. What is there to make sense of the Trump arrest, Trump indictment, whatever you want to call it?
Well, the thing is that we none of us got to see what was in that indictment until it was unsealed yesterday. That would have been April the 4th in the district attorney's office in Manhattan, New York City, Alvin Bragg. And I have to say that across the political spectrum, Democrats, Republicans, independents, both private citizens, American, man on the street kind of mic interviews, and legal experts, like an Andy McCarthy or an Alan Dershowitz, a Jonathan Turley, who've been interviewed. They must be exhausted, by the way, nonstop over the last 24 hours and more. um, the consensus seems to be um, that list of indictments, 34 indictments, um, really doesn't have anything in it that's legally pursuable, um, and that upon different motions that are going to be submitted now, move to change venue, of course, a a request, a motion to drop the case, and other things. What it comes down to is that in that list of indictments, number one, there isn't even a crime listed, and it is obligatory by U.S. law. That when presenting an indictment to the legal team of a person so accused, that indictment include exactly what they're being charged for, number one, so that the legal team can prepare an appropriate defense for the person deemed innocent,
Until proven guilty.
former Speaker Pelosi, until found or unless found guilty, but also so that that accused person can never be um, brought up on double jeopardy charges. That is,
Mm-hmm.
the same charges brought in some other manner, some other place, even again. So, for those two reasons in particular, an indictment is supposed to be very specific and is supposed to spell out exactly, what law the accused is charged with breaking, and this indictment just doesn't do that.
So it's very, very clear that it's. I mean, we all know it's politically motivated, but you have to have the evidence, right? Like we all know the government was working through Twitter, but it's not until you have the Twitter files that you can state it as a fact, right? So we all know it's politically motivated, but this is kind of like it's out now. Like you're looking at it, and I just had on a guest who was telling me, and I didn't know this. Arnie Frank came out on Newsmax 2 days ago and said this is wrong.
I mean, amazing. Like I said, across the political spectrum, um, I think Americans have reached a kind of a tipping point. And again, no matter what political persuasion you may be, or none at all, um, they can see this for what it is, which is a blatant, number one, interference
It's an
in
election
our
interference.
presidential election process. But number two, it is a completely motivated um, get Trump agenda of this DA from Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, who actually campaigned in his election campaign on his pledge to get Trump. I mean, that alone is blatantly illegal and election interference.
I mean, I know it's kind of like a low hanging fruit conversational piece, so I'll try not to use it too much. Is this as simple as just Trump derangement syndrome? I mean, people just frothing at the mouth, or is it that he is a viable threat to them? That the economy is screwed. There is no border. There's no sovereign airspace, and the de-dollarization, which should be a once in 100 years process is now happening at an accelerating rate. Is it just a distraction? Is it that they know that they're going to get stomped unless they fortify the election at 4 a.m.? They wouldn't they wouldn't be doing this if they had a if they had total control. You
Yeah, I
wouldn't
mean,
need to.
all of the above. It's everything you're just saying there, Tommy. The Democrats know that the number one threat to, not only their political campaign, whomever may be the candidate on the Democratic side for next year, but also number one threat to their agenda, which is a communist, Marxist, revolutionary agenda for the takeover and the destruction of our constitutional republic, as Mark Levin so well stated in his program. I don't know how many of you all may have watched him, but I do. This past Sunday on his program, Life, Liberty, and Levin. This is a Marxist communist attempted coup d'etat within our society, from within, to take down this republic. And as Trump himself says and has posted many times, I think, they're after us, we, the American people, in our constitutional republic. He's just standing in the way, and thank goodness that he is. What an incredible, once in a lifetime leader he is. And I just count ourselves lucky to be, living in a time of Donald Trump.
What did you say last night? My only crime is fearlessly
Mm-hmm.
defending the nation against those who seek to destroy it. I mean, again, obviously, you and I both like Trump, so we have our biases. But I mean, even just like laying it out in terms of the economy, the value of the dollar, censorship, and crime. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, I happen to like our constitutional republic. I like our Declaration of Independence. I like our Constitution, Bill of Rights, Federalist Papers, and other published documents by our founding fathers. And what we can see is a group on the inside of our republic bound and determined to destroy all of that, as per, I think we've talked about this before, the
the
45 Goals of Communism Today. That is chapter 13 of W. Cleon Skousen's 1958 book called The Naked Communist.
yeah,
And if you look at that list of 45 goals, this is what they're ticking off one by one by one, um, going down that list. And no, I very much rather stay with our constitutional republic as founded, as written, back in 1776. Well, the
and
Constitution was written later, but you get the
yeah,
idea, the foundation of this country.
yeah, one of the special forces guys I'm friends with posted a link yesterday, and it was CNN, and it was a map of Manhattan, and it was like Trump's expected route, and he was like, as a special forces guy, he's like, they want someone to attack this. He's like, I'm just putting it out there. He's like, you don't put the route of an ex-president. It's like he's gonna turn here and turn here, and he was like, hey man, like this isn't. I'm sure the Trump team or the Secret Service has now changed it, but they're like, they're begging for an attack. That's not for
That
me.
is what they want.
That's
You,
100% what they
you
want.
and he are absolutely right. But watch what's happened. Um, from, again, all sides of the political spectrum, including, many of these Mike on the street interviews kind of things. Um, the American people are onto that. They know that they're being provoked
A
deliberately
thousand
in
percent.
order to, yeah,
You
in
don't.
order to stage a repeat of January the 6th.
They
And they're
want that.
not falling for it.
No, and that is that's part of the, I guess, the good thing about their psyops is that you really can only use them once before they're can't. I think that's why they're in the cyber world it's called a 0 day exploit, and it's because the person has 0 days to plan for it. But once you use it, it's the company or corporation or country that you're attacking, then it pins it up.
Well, or at least once the truth about it comes out. Thank you, Elon Musk, and
Correct.
whistleblowers
Well,
from inside of our national security agencies.
again, so those things have a lot of power in that they have the element of surprise. I mean, 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
9/11 is not going to happen. There'll be another terrorist attack one day, but there's never going to be box cutters and planes. That's been sealed up. So The thing is that by the accelerating rate at which they've been expending their psyops, their gaslighting, their agendas, their distractions, you're running out of them. And you have people looking at this now and going like, what is this really? Like, what are you really doing? And I always come back to the quote that I love. And it's if the situation was hopeless, their propaganda wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah,
And
good
I
point.
always come back to that. You wouldn't need to censor and sway and suppress and shadow ban the majority of people on the internet if the majority of people in this country were for what's going on. You, by
Hmm.
definition, wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah,
So
very good points you're making there. Exactly.
the fact that and another thing is like stealing an election is you don't steal an election when you have 80% or 90% of support or 51. You do it when, by definition, you have to take it. So that's what I always remember and try to remind myself is that they're doing all these things because they know that they're the minority. They want you to think you're the minority.
Hmm.
They know they are an incredibly tiny group of sick, sad, depraved communists. They know that the average person doesn't. The average person just wants a job and a school to put their kids to. There's no
Yeah.
grandiose empire marching through the institutions. The average person wants to walk their daughter down the aisle and then, raise grandkids and die. Like that's the average. We're really quite simple. And I think that more and more so people are doing it. And there's something important about Barney Frank coming out and saying that
Yeah,
is
I hadn't seen that, but
me
yeah,
neither. I hadn't seen that till half hour ago.
kudos to him.
Yeah, give credit where credit's due. I didn't see that till a half hour ago, but there's an importance in that. And maybe we can break the seal of Trump derangement syndrome. It's okay to come out and go, "Hey, I don't like him either, but this is wrong."
Well, I think in part, at least because the American people are awakening to the reality that it could be any one of us and is any one of us, many of us,
Yeah,
not just going after Donald Trump. But when you go after a former president, current presidential candidate,
candidate.
that has, as many commentators have said, crossed the Rubicon.
It is, and a lot of people are saying America, we can't go back. I think we can. I'll
I
always
do
be up.
too. I want to believe that we can, and I do think that we can.
Well, you have to, and it's whether it's faith in God or faith in humanity or just provable U.S. history that it's been dark before. I think we can, but also we did cross that threshold yesterday, but we also kind of didn't in that none of the charges are going to stick. It'd be one thing, and then not to make a compromise with the devil because it shouldn't have happened at all. But I mean, he didn't walk out of there in handcuffs. None of the charges are going to stick.
No.
So in a very big, in a way, they've kind of opened the door. I mean, nothing would be funnier than if they started arresting other ex-presidents and, well, hey, you cheered it on because it was Trump.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of conservative DAs in a lot of districts across the country, and maybe it's time for them to get cracking um, on what are almost, circumstances begging to be investigated at least
Well, the sitting
on the
president
Democrat side.
and the sitting president with ties to China.
All of that. The laptop from hell. Continue on down the list.
Yeah, so that's kind of a that there would be not as an aside, there would be nothing funnier than if you
Well, it
oh,
would rebalance, Lady Justice, put her blindfold back up where it belongs across her eyes.
well, it would be the ultimate Trump move, right? Trump would always do shit like, there were terrorist attacks last year and, CNN wouldn't cover it. And he'd be like, there were 41 terrorist attacks last year. And CNN would come out and be like, actually, there were 39. And now they're talking about terrorist attacks. And the way that only Donnie could do it, you almost got to wonder if the window's been opened now, the Overton window's been opened and no one's above the law. And they all cheered on because it's orange man bad. But if none of the laws stick, but we've now all accepted that no one's above the law, there would be nothing funnier if that's how this carried out. And
Well,
that would be
nothing
a Trump
more
move.
more just. I mean,
Well,
we
sure.
have a legal system, I heard somebody say recently, but we don't have a justice system right now.
Yeah.
And that needs to be readjusted. That needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Or
It's
we don't have a republic, because I think, as I've mentioned on this show before, republic, the very word, comes from two Latin words, right? Res publica, Res means the thing, publica, public, the public thing. And what is the public thing in our country? It is the Constitution. It is the law.
Yeah.
And so without faithful defense of the Constitution, we don't have a republic. And that's what we have to get back to.
And I think everyone does know that it can only go so much farther before it devolves into kinetic warfare. And that's not an advocation for this. I'm a guy wearing slippers. I'm not a threat. But I think everyone and no one wants it to go there because
No,
if it escalates, nobody
no,
wins.
we're looking over the precipice into the abyss, and
Everyone knows what's
Americans, we all, none of us want to go there.
no one wants that. It's the same reason like Curtis LeMay would say, if we're gonna bomb a country, we're gonna do it so excessively and to such a violent degree that they surrender because we will save more of their lives and our lives because war is hell. No one wants this to go over the edge. No one's itching. I'm sure a few psychopaths are itching for it. No
Well,
one's
I mean,
itching.
let me interrupt if I might, excuse me, but
The powers that be that want
this
it.
is exactly what communists and
That's
Marxists
yeah.
want. They do want it to devolve into violence. This is how the Bolsheviks took over Russia in 1917, uh, to exacerbate divisions among us. Um, to push and push to the point that there is violence.
Yeah.
And then out of that kind of chaos,
Comes order.
the communists, the Marxists believe they can take control. We must not let that happen.
So I guess I should maybe clarify what I was saying. The average sane
The average
person,
American, the American patriot citizen, the ordinary everyday American, yeah,
and
across this country.
not just patriots, people that just want to go to work and raise the kid. Like most
Regular
people are
folks.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, civil war is a forest fire that does not discriminate. It is a tornado that sucks everyone in, whether or not you're interested in it. No one wants that. There are people that are pushing for it. I think the average person, and again, credit where credit's due. Even a Democrat like Barney Frank's going, hey, man, this is we're going to a bad place, and I can't. I think the writing's on the wall. Like they know what they're doing. Can you maybe not me? Can you maybe talk on the process of de-dollarization that is happening at a blistering pace right now?
Well, I'm not an economic expert, and never really studied economics except in grad school, and I barely squeak through. But there is a push on the part of many of our adversaries, um, such as China, Iran, Russia, and now, of course, communist Brazil has joined as well, that group, to de-dollarize. And part of that has to do with the possibility to evade US sanctions if trade commerce deals between two countries, let's say between Russia and China or China and Brazil, are denominated in yuan, renminbi, but not dollars, then the two of them can conduct trade. But what we need to point out at this point is that for real de-dollarization to happen, the dollar as the reserve currency of the world would have to be replaced. And obviously, the yuan can't do that. It's not convertible. It's not going to be convertible in anything like
Point.
the foreseeable future. It's not widely used. It is not traded widely across the world. So yes, they can among themselves bilateral trade agreements or trilateral even, resort to the use of these other currencies, but that doesn't truly replace or de-dollarize the dollar as the reserve currency in the world. Not now, not yet.
It's a good point. Um, how are we now back on topic? How is it gonna play out, going into I guess spring 2023? Election campaigns are obviously going to start very soon, and it seems that we are already off to a kind of an inferno of a beginning. Where do you see this going? How do you think
It's
Trump's election goes? I mean,
it's
barring
going to be tumultuous, no question about that.
gonna be
Stay
wild.
tuned. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no way of foreseeing how this will go, except that the tumult probably will get even more tumultuous.
Yeah, it's gonna get nuts. Um, do you think DeSantis is also gonna run?
I honestly hope not. I like Governor Ron DeSantis very much. I think he has an incredible political future ahead of him. But for the moment, for this 2024 presidential election, I think we need to go with Donald Trump because he has already shown himself able to confront and to manage these challenges we have. You named a bunch of them: the economy, energy independence, secure border, international relationships, all of that. Um, Whereas as a state governor, Ron DeSantis has shown himself tremendously capable, but he doesn't have that track record yet that President Trump does. And I think going into a second term, President Trump has learned a great deal from perhaps some missteps the first time around. Um, but he's also, a lot more aware um, of all of our adversaries, domestic and foreign. So I think it's his turn to finish a second term and set things back to right, as only he actually has, the track record of being able to do. And then 2028, let's see about Governor Ron DeSantis, and maybe we can have him for the next 8 years after that. I would look forward to that, but 2028 and beyond.
And then, eventually I'll have to throw my name in the ring,
There you go.
when everyone's ready. I'm not sure if they're ready yet. Um,
I think you have to be 35
I
first.
think I do, and I think I'm 32 right now. I can't run next year. Can I run in 2028? Yeah, I'd be 38. Yeah, it'll be me versus DeSantis. I'm some mean competition, although really you would just have to go through this podcast and discredit me probably quite easily. But I hope he doesn't run because it seems like he'd just be splitting the vote.
Well, notice how many of the Republican, you might say, front runners or potential challengers to Trump for the presidency have stepped forward and stated in no uncertain terms, what they think about this indictment, this persecution, prosecution of a presidential candidate of President Trump. Um, from Vivek Ramaswamy, who's another young 30
Hmm.
something up and coming potential candidate for, I think maybe not this time, but a couple times down the pike. I think he'll be very impressive. But others too, have stepped forward, and Jeb Bush, for example, but denounced what the Democrats are doing, what the DA Alvin Bragg is trying to do, um, and really closed ranks within the Republican Party in a way that I think is admirable. Even if they do have their hats tossed into the ring, for 2024, um, they still have stepped up, spoken up that this is wrong right now, what they're doing to Trump.
Mm. Um, and I know we've kind of beat this horse to death, but most people, myself included, don't really have faith in the integrity of elections.
That's got to be fixed. Absolutely. Yeah.
But how?
Well, at the local level, I think, at the district level, the county level, the state level. And I think we can see those steps being taken all across the country. We need more of it. And that's why local engagement by Americans at the local level is so important, to be engaged in the political process, however you'd like, whatever you see your role as being. Certainly as a voter, an informed and engaged voter. But that's where it's got to start, at the state level and on down, county, district, precinct, even.
I think that's just what a lot of people are concerned about is, you know, why get excited about an election that's just going to pause at 3 a.m. and then the
No,
five swing states.
I mean, you said about, seen that, been there, done that before.
True.
Uh,
That's true. But that
I'm not sure that that's gonna work again.
I guess there's just still like a pit in my stomach about that, about going to bed and watching him lead in six swing states and then
Yeah,
pause
yeah,
counting and then miraculously 100% of all the votes for the next 7 days
yeah.
came in.
I mean, that's why it's so heartening to me anyway, encouraging to me to see various voting districts, um, getting rid of Dominion software, for example, or the ERIC voter system. All of these technological
What's that?
um, systems that lend themselves, at the very least, to fraud and cheating. And I think people are a lot more aware of those kinds of things now than they ever were before in previous elections.
What's the ERIC system?
ERIC is a voting system, for keeping track of voter registration and so forth, but electronically, technically, within a jurisdiction. And they have found it to be wanting, and many places, many states at the state level even are ditching it.
Gotcha.
ERIC.
Gotcha. Um, and then to kind of, I guess, cover all the topics. Was it not pretty gaslighting for a couple days after Audrey Hale shot up that school
Mm.
for the spokeswoman, the White House spokeswoman, Pierre, to come out and
Yeah,
say
I
that
mean, what a
trans
sorry
people
excuse for a press secretary. I like what Jesse Waters calls her, the binder.
are,
That's
of
his nickname for her, the binder, because she never has anything to say of her own thoughts,
course
but
not.
rather only reads verbatim out of her binder.
But I mean, what a statement though, to come out a couple days after a trans girl goes in and shoots kids in the head. To
And
come out
and three adults too.
and
Let's
three
not forget them
adults
as well. But the kids, oh, you're just
to then
your heart's
come out
broken
and
about the
say
kids.
trans people are under attack.
No. And the last at least four mass shootings have been committed by those who identify as something other than straight male or female.
And they're counting her as a victim.
It's not working. No, doesn't work. Not when they show the photos of those six murdered people in that school, three of them little kids.
I mean, this is evil shit.
It's evil. It's absolute evil. One
There's
of those
no
little
other
girls,
word
by the
for
way,
it.
9 years old, was in
Try to
the
save her
act of
friends.
pulling the
The
fire
fire
alarm
alarm.
when she was shot dead by this monster.
No, Audrey Hale is a fucking despicable demon that should be burning in hell. I mean, there's no other words for this. And I try
Well,
not to get too
great
like,
credit to the police force, you know, um,
yeah, for lighting her up like a Christmas
who
tree.
went in so quickly and so aggressively to the sound of the gunfire, found her, the shooter, and dispatched her.
Yeah.
Um, they really showed excellent training and courage in the way they handled that
No, they
uh,
they they put her down like this.
disaster in Nashville, Tennessee.
They put her down like the sick animal she is, and I try not to get like emotional, and because I generally think just emotions cloud your mind. It's just not even like an ethical thing. I just think like in terms of doing a podcast, it's never really a great conversation if you get lost in the emotions of it. But I mean,
Mm.
this isn't this isn't a slung insult. This isn't uh, a distasteful speech. This is evil. This is pure unadulterated. This is like biblical demon like black eyes. Eve, and then to come out and say trans people are under attack.
And I mean, and there's no way, for people who are parents like me, who am a mom, not to be emotional about something like this. I mean, at one point in time, I had a 9-year-old little girl
Hmm.
who happily now got the chance to grow up.
And to just trans people are under attack. It is, you know, I don't even know which one it is. Is it delusion? Does she really believe what she's saying, or is this intentional gaslighting?
Well, I mean, what else are they going to say in defense of their agenda?
It's a good point.
It's not holding up.
It's a good point. And then it's also back to what you pointed out. They want violence. They want you to be
Mhm.
gaslit.
To
They
provoke.
want you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get hot under the collar. It's it's evil. But again, you know, be it your faith in God or you know whatever you want to call it, I do think that it's going to get, despite all evidence to the contrary, I genuinely believe it's going to get better. I don't know how. I don't claim to know how. I
It's
couldn't
going
tell
to
you if
get
I had
better at
to.
the local level because the American people who are citizen patriots are waking up and fighting back. I don't mean violent fighting back in the streets or anything like that. I mean in the voting booth, at the school board level, at the district level, at the local candidate level. That's and speaking out, writing, speaking, um, that's where it's happening. And that's what will save this republic.
Yeah.
Our local patriotic Americans at the local level.
Yeah. And it's
Regular
just,
folks.
I mean, even though I was watching this clip yesterday, and like, man, if you're an adult and you want to do drag, go for it. Go wild. I don't care. Not my cup of tea. Go
No,
nuts. Whatever. You're an adult, and I genuinely believe that.
yeah,
And
but
I know
get
some
away
people,
from the kids.
yeah, I know,
Do
and
not
us,
even think about coming for our kids. And
yeah,
that's, I think, the line, where parents really finally jolted and woke up.
yeah.
They're coming for the kids. You
It's,
know,
and there are some people that don't think gays should be married or you can't, and you know, and I'm not. That's not my cup of tea. Because to me, that's also
that's
imposing
a
your
part.
will.
That's
That's put.
a
That's
separate
imposing your will on
discussion.
someone else. I'm not for that. If you want to dress up as a woman, you want to have a sex change, Godspeed. I hope you find happiness. It is the perversion of innocence.
Yeah.
It is why do they have to be around kids? Why do they have to be around
They
them?
have to
Can't
be around kids because back to the 45 goals of communism, you have to get the kids when they're young and vulnerable and
impressionable.
impressionable. They know that. Corrupt the children and they've got them. That's what they're after, and that is a purely evil agenda.
I
That's
mean,
what they're
is
doing.
this not like, I mean, are we not at a point of like this is spiritual? Like this is good versus evil?
This is good versus evil.
And
It certainly is.
I hate to draw that conclusion because that sounds so
No, there's
narrow-minded.
nothing wrong with that. I think that nails
Well,
it.
well,
Absolutely.
I mean, historically, right? Whenever someone's like, "We're the good guys, they're the bad guys," it's like, let's try to back up so we don't just devolve into like tribalism. But I mean, you're looking at like, hey, man, go for it. You want to wear a dress? Godspeed. I hope you find what you're here for. You're going after children. Children. I'm I'm 32. If I want to get a tattoo of a swastika, if I want to get drunk and get behind the wheel, if I want to go rob a store, I'm free to ruin my life. I'm an adult. I have my decisions. It's no reflection on my parents or society. When you're a kid, that is it is the most pure, you know, it is a field of potentiality, it is a new canvas that they can be better than you, that they can push the world forward. And you have guys in fucking gimp suits saying, "Don't you want to be trans?"
And kids don't even know what this is. That's the whole point of it.
They don't. They're
That
not.
they're shoving this stuff at kids at an age when they have no idea what any of it means.
They're at an age when their
That's
biggest
that's
concern
just
is, "Am I
wrong.
going to get $10 from the tooth fairy?" Like that's
Getting
it.
$10 from the tooth fairy was a
I
quarter
never
when I
got
was a
that.
kid.
I never got that much. I never got that much. But still, that should be the concern: is am I going to get $10 or $1 or 10 cents? That should be the concern. The concern is when's Santa coming? What am I wearing for my
Yeah.
Halloween costume?
Yeah.
That is innocence.
Let kids, be innocent. But that's the whole point.
Is
To
perversion of
corrupt
innocence.
their innocence before they even know what's happening. But the parents now know what's happening, and they're the ones standing up to defend their children from that. That's where this has to go.
There's a guy that I have on this show semi often, Clay Martin, former Green Beret. Actually served with Joe Kent. Really cool guy. I love him. He's a great author. You should follow him on Twitter. He had two tweets recently that I really like. And one is somebody saying, why would you even have kids now? Why would you raise kids? You know, the world is
Mm,
so screwed, the country's so evil, just like let the commies have it or something. And he tweeted, my kids will inherit the stars, whatever that takes. And I just thought that was such a badass, like,
beautiful.
father,
Yeah, I mean
like,
the point of it is have children so that those worst outcomes don't happen,
yes.
so that we raise our children to confront the evil, to push back against the evil, and to restore, the American Republic. That's the point of having children, not not despairing and just throwing your hands up and saying whatever,
And he
but
had a
raise those children to be patriotic American citizens.
and he had another tweet, I think, today. You know, Ragnarok. I always thought Ragnarok was like a creature or something, or a demon. But in Norse mythology, it's a series of events. Basically, it's the apocalypse. And somebody tweeted, uh, I'm getting pretty black pilled. It seemed like the world's going to hell, and it's just kind of depressing to be alive right now. And Clay tweeted, 10,000 generations of human and evolution have selected you to fight at Ragnarok. They've selected you to show up to the apocalypse. That should be an
Yeah,
honor.
yeah,
And I
good
thought
for
that
him.
was
Good for
Clay's
him.
Clay's getting me all freaking. I read that and I was like, got up and I was like, let's go to the gym. Like, got me
I
excited.
mean,
Like,
if not us, then who?
who? Exactly. Then who? Like,
As we're entering into, the week of Passover,
sure.
our Jewish friends would say, um, for such a time as this. That's why we're here.
Yeah. I pray that war doesn't come, but if it does, come now so that my children won't fight it. I mean, you got chosen. You don't go you're not a quarterback in the Super Bowl going, why me? Right? You're chosen. It's the best honor. It's like because you're the best fighter. I need you there because you're the best, right? Michael Jordan never got the ball for the game-winning shot and went, ugh. No, you're Michael Jordan, dude. You're 23. You're the best ever. You're the silhouette of dunking. Like you're Michael Jordan. That's why. Yeah, is it scary? Yeah. Is it sad? Certainly. Is it anxiety inducing? Absolutely. I'm also just an anxious person, but in general, but you're here. Like you were chosen for the Olympics. Like nut up.
I mean, and we who do have children, what kind of a world are we going to leave them if we, shrink back from the fray now?
There's also, and maybe this is a time where the ego is good to have. But like I look at, my grandfather, I think he wasn't allowed to be in the military because his vision was so bad or something. And
Mm,
he was always upset about that. He like
mm,
they didn't let him in. They're like, no, you're gonna like miss and like shoot our guys. But his brother, my great uncle Rich, was 18 years old on Omaha Beach, survived
oh, wow.
veteranoia, came back, served in the FBI for like 50, 60 years. Just American through and through. And
Hmm.
I always look at how proud of that I am. Just to be like, yeah, like that like I'm like of that lineage. Like my dad like hunted down our ancestors way back. And like Carrigan's fought in the Union Army, like under like Lincoln.
Mm,
And like
wow.
that makes you proud. And I
Hmm.
just can't imagine like having great grandkids and then being like, man, Tommy was just a bitch. Like, yeah, I don't tell anyone I was related to him. Like, I don't want that. Like I can't imagine like that. Like, imagine being made fun of beyond the grave. Like, it's the ultimate bullying to like get a wedgie 80 years after you've died is to be like, oh, dude, I hated that. Yeah, no, I changed my name. Like, so just in terms of ego, like, yeah, I want to do something cool just so like I'm not made fun of in 100 years. Like at
Well,
the
there's
very
one motivation. Okay.
yeah. Is it childish? Yeah, but whatever, it's mine. Yeah, I just like don't want I just would rather have someone be like, no, he was cool. Like that's it. Who knows? But Miss Lopez, we gotta wrap this one up. Get another episode in a couple minutes because I have no idea how to schedule time and to pace myself, and that's a personal problem that I'll have to deal with off air, probably a therapist. But guys, in the description, your writings, your articles, your Twitter, please go follow her on Twitter. And I think that's it. I think we're good.
Okay. Thank you. And happy Passover to our Jewish friends. Happy Easter to Christian friends. And we'll catch you the next time.
Thank you so much, Claire. Thank you for doing this on short notice. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please go follow Claire on Twitter. Do something out of this. Make me look good. Boost the Twitter numbers. Don't make me look like an idiot. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Claire Lopez.